Okay, so the next step is to start creating the characters and objects that you're going to interact with in the game itself. Yeah, we call these things sprites. So here's an example of the traditional cat sprite that you see in all the Scratch games. You can see when I click on the cat, I've got his costumes, I've got sounds that he may play, and I've got some code, a section to put the code in. But you know what? We want to change it. We want to use our own sprites, so I'm going to click on the little rubbish bin on the top right corner of his sprite, and I'm going to click delete. And I'm going to add my own sprites. So to add a sprite, you click on this thing, and you can actually choose a sprite that exists in the game already, in the program already. Sorry. You can see all the different sprites that exist. I want to find my dog sprite, and let's start with this one. And you can see that when I can move him to the location I want, maybe I put him down there, and if I click on the dog and I click on the costumes, I can see that I've got many different costumes that may exist for the dog. Now you can delete all but one. Let's say I want to stick with this one, and I'll delete the rest of them. I'll just click on the trash can and so forth. And that allows me to put the dog. Now I can basically edit it if I want. If I want to paint something on him, like maybe I want to give him a little hat, then maybe I might do something like this. It's my little bandana for the dog. Okay, it's up to you if you want. This is where convert to vector comes in handy. If I go back to converting to vector and then I click on it, as you can see, that did not work as I expected. When I click on the arrow, you can see that I can scale him up or scale him down to as I like. See, I can move him here. Now notice that as I move him, he's being moved also in the actual game itself. So it's important to keep him centered to where this little plus symbol is. That's basically saying that's the center of the sprite. So if you keep him there, that means that when you are moving and controlling him later on, that you are controlling and moving him in the correct area, like in the right X and Y coordinates that you're going to use. I'm just going to make him a little more smaller because I need to make sure it's small enough to get through all those walls and doors without getting stuck. So that's why I mean it's important to make sure that yours are big enough, because otherwise you're going to have trouble getting out of the maze. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now the other thing is I want to do is add the fire hydrant. Now there is no fire hydrant I could find from the standard sprite, so I need to upload one from the internet. So how to do it? I can do a quick Google search. I go into Google search is fire hydrant, and I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to save the image on my computer, call it fire hydrant. Okay, and then once it's downloaded, go back in here and choose a sprite, upload sprite, and you're going to choose the one I just saved, and you can see it's now loaded up the fire hydrant. If I click on costumes, so this is a good chance to convert to vector, allows me to resize it as I like, okay, because it's way too big. I'm going to put it centered, and you might want to change the alignment up here as well, just to make sure. I think it's still too big. Okay, how's that look? Making sure it's centered. No, see? Okay, so let's make it even more smaller. So there you go. That's where my fire hydrant next is going to be. Now, I have all this stuff around it, which I don't want, so I'm going to try to see if I can erase it. So the best way to erase things is to, if I look at eraser, you can see it's not working unless I convert it to bitmap. So if you find that something's not working, just try different settings from vector to bitmap, bitmap to vector. I can now use the eraser, and you'll see this time it's actually erasing. Now it's a bit small to see on the screen, so I can zoom in the view. So this just zooms in the view, not the actual size of the image, using these plus and minuses. And you can see I can clean it up this way, and so forth. I'm doing a rush job here, but I think you get the idea. That's my fire hydrant. And so forth. So you can keep doing stuff like that and have a play with that. And I'll show you the code next lesson.